Hey, it's Clarissa Mfeka, a host of Radio Meets TV. I'm chilling with
DJ Sabby, the best in ever.
Catch him on Radio Meets TV. The episode is coming out soon.
Hey, yes, she's.
Hey, it's hot in Durban, boss. Hi, it's Clarissa Mfeka, and welcome to Radio Meets TV. Yes, it is our last episode for the year, and Stenje, let's add some goodies to the show this time around. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do not forget to subscribe to this particular channel, which is Finally Famous TV, and the official hashtag is RMT Podcast. Now, before we get to our recaps on Mhlanje, I have to say, first of all, our guest, we are very excited to have him on the show today, the one and only DJ Sabby from Metro FM. But since we are taking a break, I want to throw this out to you, right? If there's any radio personality that's currently on air that you would love to see on Radio Meets TV, hit us up on the socials and tell us who that might be. Also, if you do come across any festive moments on radio from now until, I don't know, January, definitely hit us up as well. Share those moments with us. And man, they might be in the recaps. Radio Meets TV is definitely all about celebrating radio. We recap awesome radio moments and sit down with some of our and your favorite radio personalities in the industry. Today is no different. Let's kick off with our recaps. Sikala with Ukhozi FM, with Uchata and Sabby, who are talking all things because, whoa, it is time, baby.
About 6 p.m. Okay, so kuna camera ebusweni bami. So mangabe niyibona lezi ithombe lezi akusimina lo yizwi leli kuphela akusimina lo buso lobo bonayo, right? Okay. Happy Thursday, happy Ladies Night Thursday, happy Pooza Thursday, happy Thursday, happy Lesbian Thursday. No listen lo mama oluhle bandla Nkosi yami mangabe nile listen namhlanje. Nomthandaze. Amen bakithi. Awuyeni webantu. Angathi noma mhlawumbe besenizwile yini kodwa thina siphethe izindaba ezimnandi ngendlela emangalisayo angazi yabo makuyilesi sikhathi sonyaka sonke I mean la emsakazweni Ukhozi FM ngisho nane South Africa imbali kakhulukazi mangabe umlaleli wethu
kunjalo Selbionze asibekele umlaleli wethu omuhle ekhaya emsebenzini noma ngabe uphe khona manje mabulu Ukhozi FM hlala nathi kamnandi sikuphathele indaba engaka engicama ukuthi nawe umagange uyilindele vele ukuthi hayibo kanti iqala nini Selbionze awuze nazo ntombi
ingoma ehlukanisa unyaka top 10 lalela usungaqala njengamanje ukuthi uthumele nge-SMS igama elithi ingoma kulandele igama lomculi kanye neculo lakhe ku 33665 angazoma ningizwile yini ehlisani bad music ingoma ehlukanisa inyaka thumela nge-SMS igama elithi ingoma kulandele igama lomculi kanye neculo lakhe ku 33665 SMS ibiza 150 ama SMS amahala awasebenzi kunemgomo nembandela kuyavalwa ngomhla ka29 kuNovember 2023 wilethela amathole funerals.
Okay, yezejela kanele wethu usuzwileke Selbionze SMS uthi
33665 igama lengo ingoma SMS ingoma
igama lomculi kanye neculo lelo kusho nehloko
yebo
thumela ku
33665 iSMS ibiza 150 kanti ama SMS amahala awasebenzi kuzothi ngomhla ka1 kuDisemba ngolesihlanu olizayo kuzobe sekuphumile ke uhlu lengoma eziyishumi phecelezi 10 okuyizona ezingaba zisifaka eyodwa yawo engasifaka ku2024 i-top 10 yoKhozi FM yona edumile esiyazi sonke right
kunjalo Selbionze ngane kwethu yezejalo ke njengamanje ayikhaleke
injalo indaba uKhozi FM isiteshi sakhe simthethweni sokuhlukanisa unyaka abanye shut up
abanye abathule. Okay,
that was Ukhozi FM with Uchata Beno Salvi. Man, what an exciting time. Every musician, every fan of music right now is rooting for their favorite artist, is rooting for their favorite songs. Now, the interesting part about Ingoma is the fact that it differs with every single radio station in South Africa, and it's a huge part of the link between music and radio. So, man, everybody cannot wait for that countdown on the 31st of December across all radio stations in the country. Moving along to Limpopo at Capricorn FM, where Prudence Mabasa, the programs manager, came through to reveal the top 4 of their presenter search.
So she is right here in studio with me. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I had a lot of questions in my mind before starting this. But anyway, it's okay. So let's get straight to it. So after, this long process of going through entries and so much talent, last week we got to speak to the top 8 across the different shows, right?
Yeah.
And now I believe you are here to share the top 4. But before you share with us the top 4, take us through, how the top 4 was selected.
So, we wanted to try something different because these are your colleagues for the 3 weeks that they're going to be here.
Yeah.
And so we thought the best thing would be to ask the presenters that not only have the experience, but also have worked with the brand to say who are the people that they feel would best fit the brand, but also in terms of the talent that they bring to the table, who would best be suited for the opportunity. And so the presenters, producers, news, sports guys jumped in and sent through their votes and shared with us who they think deserves to be on top 2. I know a lot of the participants and the finalists were very nervous, like, when is the voting happening? They were like all over the place, and I'm so sorry because I think perhaps maybe we were not quite clear enough that this is a process that was never meant to be voted for by the listeners.
Okay.
It was a process that was supposed to be voted for by the people within the organization. So we gathered the votes, tallied them up, and I've got your top 4.
That was Capricorn Adventure with King Bash, weekdays 12 to 3 p.m. with the program's manager. Man, shout out to radio stations that really put in the effort into presenter searches. We know how important it is to harness raw talent, and whenever these platforms are created for aspiring radio personalities and just people that aspire to be in radio in general, there's so many other things that go into making a radio show and running a radio station that the information is so scarce sometimes and not as readily as available as it should be, or some people feel like it, or maybe just can't really exit. But presenter searches really do harness talent, and shout out to radio stations, man. Throughout the year, I think a few radio stations have also had theirs, so shout out to that. That's very exciting. Talk about more exciting things. Kwesta usedlala ufada Christmas ngoku November.
You see what's happening?
Question.
Questions in the
building.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's going on, bro?
I'm good, man.
Are you nice? Oh my God.
Shy round. Though.
Welcome
Shy
to the
round.
show.
Thank you.
I have a course in the midst of getting myself a new car, and
Yeah.
the topic was like playing your favorite song, the first song you'll play in your first car. Which is spirit, because
Because you said your favorite song, the song you'd play in your car would be Spirit.
Sure.
I then teamed up with my friends at Hyundai,
Oh my gosh.
and we have for you a Hyundai i10 that's literally
No way! No ways! No ways! No way! Trying to picture if it has my name or it has my face or it has both or it has colors. And what's the dominating color? Like I'm trying to, I don't know, okay? I don't know. I don't know, okay? I don't know. I'm trying to picture it.
3, 2, 1. You can take a peek, brother.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
That's you, brother.
Yo! Do you know about this, huh? Huh?
How awesome is that? Nama ngazi manje ngizoshiya i-rap Jay-Z mfethu. Nami when I buy my first car ngizodlala Tom Ford. I don't know, like something, anything. What a cool moment, man. We love seeing entertainers, be it musicians or radio personalities or any media, TV personalities even coming together and just making each other's day, man. That was such a dope moment. Shout out to Questa for that. And shout out to Caddy for getting himself a new web. So not easy, but I mean, you just need to know the right people and the right people need to know you, sort of thing. I hope I know all the right people. Oh my goodness. Now, the following content might be sensitive to some of our viewers, so please do use your discretion. Coming up next, we recap a moment that happened on Hot FM Breakfast, weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. Check out this moment.
The patriarchal system that we grew up in is an absolute disaster. That men are allowed to cry, men are allowed to say they are broken, men are allowed to say I cannot do this and I cannot provide and I cannot cope and I cannot actually be strong. And the decisions that we make that leaves collateral damage, sometimes you don't know how to face it, but particularly being in the public eye is to actually go, yes, I am broken. I'm a broken human being and have been for a long time.
That was Hot FM Breakfast with Aiden, Julian, and Tara with a guest musician, Alistair Isabel. I'm so grateful that we live in a time where we get to liberate ourselves, where we get to share life experiences, moments that we've seen or just seemed very difficult to grow out of and grow from. So shout out to Alistair for being able to use this platform to share his life experiences, and hopefully it does reach someone and give somebody just a little bit of more hope, just a little bit of strength. So shout out to Alistair, and do check him out and more of the stuff that he's doing. Moving right along to Metro FM, still talking about, mental health, energy, and keeping the peace even around yourself. Simpira Dana had something to say with Tibo Touch.
And I put it to the fact that I'm quite shy as a person.
Okay.
I also know that people's energies can be quite a lot.
Okay.
It's different when I'm on stage.
I got you.
Because all the energy is being given to me and it's directed.
It's
not everyone just doing their own things and being around me.
Do you pick people, those who are on your, in your company at the concert, your patrons, do you pick up their energy while you perform?
Yes, I do. I literally I control the energy. Ooh. So I bring them into my space.
Energy controller.
Yeah, no, not like that. not like that. And then I give back to them.
I hear you.
Yes.
You're sitting across.
That was a touchdown with Utibo Touch on Metro FM weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Sitting down with musical guest Simpira Dana, who is quite vocal. And I mean, I know this for sure. I know this for certain. People are always surprised and shocked when you meet somebody that's relatively popular and they just don't seem like they're in the mood, like to chit chat, to like hi bonjena, like when they're performing on stage or when you think of their music. It's totally understandable. Energy is a real thing. So if you are one of those people that really guard your energy, if you're one of those people that really want to take time to just like zen out and be by yourself, trust me, I do that sometimes too, where you just want to be by yourself, whether it's strolling on the beach, whether you are at home, or whether it's just not picking up the phone. Totally understandable. Do whatever you need to do that doesn't harm anyone to just keep you in peace. Moving along to a Power 106 all the way out in LA, Tyler dropped by to talk about everything awesome that's happening in her life right now.
What was that feeling like when you got that news, girl?
Yo, I was screaming, I was jumping, I was screaming. Like, I honestly did not expect it at all. Yes, like I was like, no ways. Like, I'm so new, like other people have been around for a while, makes sense. And then when I saw my name there, I was like,
okay, we here.
But at the same time, it kind of makes sense, like I feel like water has done so much. It's reached so many different countries.
Big heights,
or it's crossed so many borders, so I'm just excited. I'm just so excited to see how further it goes,
Now, Tyler, girl, she is busy. From touring with Chris Brown, the Grammys, she is everywhere that any musician should be right now, right? News on the street as well is that her debut album is dropping on the 1st of March 2024, titled Tyler. So everything amazing is truly happening for her right now, and we could not be more proud as South Africa. Now, talking about, musicians and then South Africa and just like how we're totally dominating everything right now, Chris Brown saw a TikTok video from una lady, then he was like, okay, cool, I like the sound. What sample, quick, call that lady, give her some cash, credited her. Now, everybody's talking about her. Check her out on Gagasi FM. Ubabulala na telungilegelele
mama ngilegele. Now ladies, this is your life. Uyakholwa ukuthi lento yenza empilweni yami ngempela.
Angikholwa, azi ngeke ngivuke intathe ngisho imina lo.
Usisi wakho yena wangena ekamereni and then told you ukuthi hayibo now Chris Brown posted video yakhe and then you thought it was a scam. Now uhamba uyecheck it wabona ukuthi hayibo this is real.
Hamba ubheka ukuthi hayibo iyona account yakhe yangempela le noma scam noma kwenzakalani la. Abona lapho ukuthi yena ngempela ngicommunicate neteam yakhe.
Bathini ke kwena?
Ngicommunicate neteam yakhe.
Bathini kwena?
Ngaqala nga DM Major League ku
Even that on its
Instagram.
own.
Oh, DJ.
Yebo. Awele then emva lapho bacela inamba yami bathi kuyaphuthuma then ngase ngabanika inamba yami bahamba ba WhatsApp bayong DM abangitshela bathi Chris Brown ufuna ukwenza isample yale ngoma then ngabuza ngathi which song because angibona ukuthi Chris Brown how ingoma so bina no Chris Brown ihlanganiswa ile ngoma le yase classini okay then ngase ngamnika ke ngamnika imvume ukuthi engayinika team ya Chris Brown inamba yami okay ngahlala nje ebusuku ngabona nge missed call ye number ende nje inamba mbozi le number
That
was Gagasi FM Breakfast, the uprising with Ominin Tula and he's standing in for Felix Klope. They were sitting down with a lady up here talking about this absolutely insane, mind-blowing experience that she's had. And also, I think everybody's kind of applauding Chris Brown right now for actually crediting her and actually giving her, some guap, some moolah, because, I mean, that's what you should do, man. Can't exploit talent or anything that she's didn't give them credit. So shout out to her. I know that she's also in school. There've been pictures of her. She's excited. Her family's excited as well. What a beautiful moment. And what a beautiful way to wrap up the show this year, all right? Don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms because who knows, anything can happen between now and December. We might just have like a surprise episode or something. I don't know. So do catch up with us at Finally Famous SA. Subscribe to this channel as well, Finally Famous TV, and turn on your notifications for any new content that we want to share with you. But for now, we have a very special guest and we are so happy to have him as our last guest for the year, the one and only DJ Sabby. South African media personality DJ Sabby born Sabelo Mchali in the area of Emandeni in KZN. Sabelo would fall in love with radio at the tender age of 14 and has become a voice that is sourced out by various platforms across the world to speak on youth culture. He studied radio production before being swept up by popular Cape Town radio station KFM and later held down a graveyard slot on 947 Highveld stereo, now called 947. Following early success, DJ Sabby took further training within Y Academy as an intern. After graduating, the broadcaster embarked on a legendary decade-long journey with YFM that saw him work up from graveyard slot to drive time with his groundbreaking and aptly titled show, The Best Drive. The Drive Time show made history as the longest-running drive show ever within YFM. The Best Drive received critical acclaim, racking up multiple Best Drive Time show radio nominations within its 5-year run. DJ Sabby's international footprint in radio moves past. DJ Sabby joined the BBC's radio show called #This Is Africa, hosted by DJ Edgy, as a correspondent profiling propelling African acts within the music space. The show is broadcast across the world in over 50 countries. 2019 also saw him making history as being the first DJ on YFM to broadcast live from the BBC's Wagon House in London. As a result of his dedication in building his legacy, the legacy that DJ Sabby has built now sees him at Metro FM, currently hosting Best Mornings. DJ Sabby's skills as a host moves past his love for radio broadcasting, with a formidable career as a host across multiple platforms. His on-screen charisma has found him hosting several TV shows, including ACBC One's Babonise, as well as MTV-based Africa's New-ish, just to name a few. DJ Sabby has currently hosted the South African Music Awards. Sabby, welcome to Radio with TV.
Oh man, I'm so late. She couldn't even do an intro.
Sabby, I wish I had the entire day to speak to you.
Yeah.
Because your resume, darling. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Wow. When do you get time to live?
I have a lot of time to live, on life to you. My life is so well balanced. I'll just try and make time for pretty much every part of my life. Because it matters.
I was 2 years old when I found out that you're from Durban.
For real?
I said, how?
Matriculated Friday at the States, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, tell me, usually I really just go like very in-depth.
Yeah.
But if there's something about Sabby that you don't know, you're going to find out today. The rest you can just go, darling, because...
We'll come back for part 2. I promise. I promise.
Sabby, tell me about your life in KZN, growing up here. What were you like?
I was just, let me see. Growing up in KZN, I was a guy who was broke, poor, but I had no idea that I was poor because I was from a home of love. Nkulele Mjondolo most of my life.
Sure.
Had a small bit of that nice family life where mom and dad were still together. They broke up in 1997. And I think that's when my journey in Mjondolo started, because mom had to start doing her own thing.
Sure.
That was primarily a Monday, and he went to Lower Tugela Primary School at Tugela. It was fun, man. Life was cool. Started doing all the weird, wrong things, bunking school, walking all over the bridge.
Life.
Going to go fetch amaguava next to the Tugela River, throwing rocks on crocodiles. RIP to one of the homies who passed away. Yeah, he decided to go steal guavas ngaphandle kwakhe, so I won't mention his name. But yeah, man, we're just young, wild, reckless, like any other kid. A guy says that he tried rugby for one day, too many dudes on top of me. I was like, I can't deal with this pain. Love Life Y Center opens at the age of 14. And that's when life changed because it came with volleyball, basketball,
sure,
and Radio Wise. And that's where the dream started. So just like any other kid at Kasi, I had a great childhood, driving a 325 that is Ibri.
But you said you were broke.
Yeah, imagination. I think all we had as kids from the hood was imagination. And,
what sort of access did you have to the outside world?
I think when Love Life came through, they had Cyberwise, which was computers. That was my introduction to the internet. That was my window to what else existed outside of the world. Because for the longest of time, it's always just been radio and TV. Yeah.
What did you want to become?
So I always used to say I wanted to be a scientist because my dad just had these aspirations for me. Thanks to Dexter, the laboratory. Dexter really made it look cool to work underground, yes, we're in the basement. So I generally thought I was going to be a scientist, and then radio came through at the age of 14 and everything changed.
Everything changed.
Sure.
Tell me about you leaving KZN, because I realized that most of your work is definitely outside of KZN. The way that you found yourself in radio, the way that you have identified with yourself as a broadcaster as well. Tell me about that move from KZN and where was it to?
So 2006, I think Gagasi was changing from P4 to Gagasi. Yeah, I was one of the people that tried their luck to apply. I just didn't work out. I felt like I was not ready for East Coast radio. And I just had to accept that maybe my break will be outside of my province. So my family didn't have much. Applied for an age loan. Got a loan, went to Johannesburg to study in NEMISA, National Electronic Media Institute.
You're the first person that I've interviewed that's actually mentioned in NEMISA because I'm a certificate for Con. Yeah. Like, nobody ever recognizes that anymore. Like, what?
Shout out to NEMISA. They really did the most for us, Like, about Boston, we're too expensive. I don't take it away. But also, like, when I was reading up, you only go to studio, I think on the second or third year. I just didn't have time for that. Like, if I read about a pre-fade listen button, I want to press it the next day. So NEMISA afforded us that. And, they were quite affordable. Went to Johannesburg 2008, studied radio production, got my break at KFM in 2009, moved up to Highfell Stereo in Joburg 2010, joined YFM Academy in 2010.
Now that you've figured that broadcasting is your thing, what are your hopes and aspirations around about 2008, 9, 10?
That's all.
That's it.
Like, when I made the decision that I want to study radio production, is because I just wanted to learn everything about radio because I had no idea where my break would be.
Yeah.
As much as I wanted to be behind the mic, I wanted to equip myself with skills on how to do technical, news, all these other things, because I had no idea what my channel of entry would be. And that was it. All I knew is that one day I'll sit behind the microphone and do my thing.
Did you find any inspiration from any particular broadcasters at the time?
For me, it's always been Linus Beer. I think I say that on every interview. Yeah, no, Mr. Magic for me. Yeah. Mr. Magic for me, man, was just that guy I've always wanted to be like on radio. He was a lover of languages, even though he commanded, Zulu on radio. His energy, I never knew if he had a bad day, and just how he was always able to embrace Abantu through the microphone, and some of the things that he had built outside of radio and all these small communities and properties. I remember the Mr. Magic tour when he came to my township. The first time I saw him broadcast, I just stared at him, Mega Broadcaster Sunumbili Township, and I just looked at this guy, man. I was in awe. Difference that I wanted to do it in English. Yeah, no, I think he got it all the time. And then he came back again with the Love Life train.
Sure.
But yeah, man, he was just always my my reference of how I want to be like one day when I do this whole radio thing. But fast forward and you start turning the dial, you're introduced to other broadcasters. When I made the decision that I want to do radio in English, I was 16. And that's when I, started tapping into the other guys. I was like, okay, cool.
Sure.
The Alex J's, I think he was still at Highveld. Garrett Cliff. Then Big Dog. Big Dog, I was aware of him from Y. Started streaming him while I was at the Y Center because everyone was talking about this guy in Joburg, the Fat Joes. The list goes on and on. But, I started being equipped on how great these English guys are because for the longest of time, it's just always been Ezul.
Sure. Now, tell me, you've done it, man. You've done the KFMs, you've done Highveld, you've done YFM, you've done I think you were one of the first to have an international broadcast.
Yes. I've done BBC. I've done BBC Sounds. Shout out to DJ Edu. I've done BBC One Extra. Got something going on right now with DJ Ace. I've had some great international.
I want to know from you, are there any moments that we probably don't know of, or moments that we didn't see where you think you might have made a mistake, or you feel like I just shouldn't have made this particular move?
No, not as yet. I feel like I'm truly a believer that how God has placed my life is how it should be happening.
Sure.
As much as I had plans on how, for example, I would have loved to have left Y, the way it happened the way it was supposed to happen. And now I'm in Metro. I thought I was going to go in Metro, slam bam on daytime. But God said, start on weekend.
Yeah.
And work your way up, fast forward, this is where we are right now. So I think everything played out the way it was supposed to play out. And maybe one day I'll have an answer for that. Yeah, right now. Sure.
I want to move away from the radio now and move on to the other stuff.
Which is
done. Well, you're also there, like visually as well. Like, Sabby, what is you getting into the broadcasting space outside of radio now a plan to just expand your brand, or are these interests that you're finding along the way to say, I also like that?
So I always I was gonna do radio, I was gonna do TV, I was gonna do voicing, right? Voiceover work. But now I'm really falling in love with the stuff behind the scenes.
Sure.
I remember it was 2013, if not 14. Shout out to Ice Prince. He was,
Prince.
Shout out to Zamani, man. I was like, listen, I feel like the future, we always talk about oil, but content is going to be the new oil. And fast forward, like those words resonate. And now we're living in a time where we're all just trying to capture certain moments of this life thing and put it out through the internet, I'm really falling in love with just the business around content, the business around music. It's just that music is expensive.
Sure.
I would really love to play more in that space. I did drop an album with 18 individuals that people didn't know. It's an exciting, project, but it was just expensive.
Sure.
I would really love to do consulting, in music. There's so many moments where I've really predicted and assisted several A&Rs to shine. So the more I do that, the more I'm like, I think there's something in me that could really, really do well if I had to tap into the inner me and just explore a little bit more that side. So there's so much more. I'm falling in love with TV.
Yeah.
This year has been a great year coming back on TV. So yeah, it's been cool.
Hosting the summer.
Come on now.
How did that feel? By the way, Namalang is like my homegirl.
Shout out to the Flame.
Yeah.
No, it was despite everything.
Yeah.
I wish we had more time,
For sure.
But outside of that, shout out to the whole team. When they say teamwork makes a dream work.
Sure.
How the summers played out. Shout out to Refilwe. Shout out to Jules. Shout out to just everyone that plays a role. Shout out to Leslie. Shout out to everyone who plays a role to put the summers together. This year was truly a tough year, man, for the team, but they really brought it forward. And when everyone is working so hard and around the clock to make sure it works, you can't bring up, your 10%. You got to come through at 120.
I always wanted to ask this question to somebody that's actually there.
Okay.
There's a perception. I'm not saying that
ma'am.
people actually believe it.
Yeah.
But Ukhoti, the pinnacle of radio is definitely not in Durban or KZN.
Yeah.
You have to go to Joburg. What do you think about that?
I think if you're fortunate enough, as someone who did regional radio for 10 years, I hope everyone gets to experience national radio.
Sure.
You just have to experience the small things, picking up the line and someone is from Ekapeha and moving into Cape Town and just being able to connect with people from different walks of life.
Sure.
you know, even how you choose music, it becomes broader, you know, because when you're in your pocket in KZN or in Gauteng, you kind of get comfortable. You kind of know it's okay, cool, if I do this, it's going to work.
Yeah.
But nationally, there's no room to be that comfortable because, number one, the weather's always different across the country.
Definitely, yeah.
The talking points, the conversation pieces is where we might find common ground, but it's how you gel all those things. I think it really challenges you as a broadcaster. So for anyone, I really hope they just get to experience national radio because there's that learning that comes with it. And I'm fortunate. I always say it was a blessing in disguise. I got to do Metro on weekends first because I got to learn and understand the requirements of really being able to command an ear and entice an ear from various parts of the country. I guess for me, it was a cheat code. It was through music, but also what you say and how you say it was also a big learning curve for me. Yeah.
Sabby, I wish I had more time to chat to you.
Oh, man.
But get no shy. Listen, man, for more of this conversation with Sabby, tune in 2024. We will see you next time. Thank you so much. This is the last episode for the year. We will return in the month of January. Enjoy the festive season. Don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms. It is Finally Famous SA. Finally Famous TV is the channel that you subscribe to. Much love. Bye. Bye.